Hello and welcome to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Mayor Tim Elinski, and I'm very pleased to have in the studio with us this evening. We have Gretchen Wesbrock from Mingus Union High School, and we have Shenoah, who is my intern this year. So I'm really pleased to have both of you in here this evening to talk about a great program that Gretchen started recently. Well, it's been a few years now, called the Return on Investment Program. And I've been able to take advantage of that as mayor and have a couple of interns. And Shenoah is my second intern, and so really excited to hear what Shenoah's been doing from the mayor's office this past year. So if we could, we'll just introduce ourselves. And Gretchen, I'll let you introduce yourself first.
Sure. So I'm Gretchen Wesbrock, and I'm an Arizona native, so born and raised in Mesa, and then moved to Flagstaff to go to school at NAU and was there for, I stayed a long time. I not just getting degrees, but actually ended up working for NAU for about 15 years. Oh. And then had the opportunity to come to Cottonwood in 2012 and work with a federal grant designed to get more kids into post-secondary education. Okay. So. And
what did you do when you worked for NAU?
I worked in housing and residence life.
Okay.
So I was, at the end of my career, I was the associate director, so oversaw, campus discipline for students in housing, staffing, new leadership programs, things like that. So wonderful experience, and but was excited to have the opportunity to work, well, one with a federal grant and one that just aligned with my passion in life, my kind of life purpose, which I think is, I was a first-gen college student, so having the opportunity to work with students, whether they're first-gen or not, but to just see their potential after high school was something that really made my heart flutter. So it was a great experience, and then have been at Mingus since then. So working in a new role this last year and this year. But love this community and love this program too.
Good. So you came down in 2012 to
2012.
Cottonwood? Okay.
Yes.
Was that a difficult transition from Flagstaff to Cottonwood?
I mean, Cottonwood's a wonderful community. I'd say different because you went from being in a college town where with a lot of young people to a town that was more of a retirement community, and so just I think learning like a new stride. But I used to think Flagstaff was a small town. It's the big city compared to Cottonwood, so I love it. I think it's a wonderful place for me to raise kids. My husband too made a transition from working for a fire department up in the Flagstaff area to coming on with Cottonwood Fire Department. So we really, and then lots of family members have moved since then. So this has become a real like family hub for us. So.
It's true. I've noticed a trend in a lot of folks moving down from Flagstaff to the Verde Valley. So
yeah, to not have to shovel snow is pretty awesome.
Right, we've gotten a lot already this year. So then what is your official title now with Mingus Union?
So my title is Director of Student Support Services. So I work on the admin team. And I always, it's hard because I thought, how do I describe what I do? I feel like my role is to help provide opportunities, so figure out what opportunities are out there across the board, and then to eliminate barriers. So it could be, I could be working on something like this one day and then working on how do I transition and help our Spanish-speaking families with translating documents. It can be such a wide array of things, which I really like.
Sure, keeps it interesting.
For sure.
Yeah, good.
And there's never going to be a loss for things to work on. So lots of job security.
Right, that's good. That's good. All right, Shenoah, let's hear from you.
I'm a senior at Mingus, and so through Mingus, I've been working on theater. Like that's the main thing that I've been doing, and I also do a lot of volunteering work with NHS and ENACT Club. So with theater, recently so in the spring we did a play called Newsies, and so I was basically the props head, which means like I bought all the props and managed them during the show. And then over the summer we went to state for a competition, and I won best props head. Really? For the state from ASU.
Way to go.
I've been doing theater since freshman year, the end of freshman year. Okay. And so through theater, I've become a thespian and so on. So that's been like my main thing that I've been working on through high school.
Great. And you're on a trajectory toward college, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I've been applying to schools out of state. Okay.
And where? I'm curious.
So yesterday I actually learned that I was accepted to Georgia Tech, so Georgia Institute of Technology. Okay. But I'm also waiting to hear back from Harvard and Stanford.
Oh, okay. Wow. The big hitters.
Yes.
That's great. Well, we'd hate to lose you, but we assume you'll be back to Arizona, right?
Yeah.
And so what kind of degree are you pursuing?
I am focused on environmental engineering and mostly renewable energy.
Okay.
And that whole entire area of politics and engineering and so on.
Very good. And that's what you indicated to me when we first sat down for an interview to see if you'd be a good fit. And so I hope that we've been able to incorporate some of your environmental interests in what you've done for us, with the Explorer Backpack program that we're going to get into here a little bit later. But I wanted to have Gretchen just talk a little bit about this return on investment program and kind of how it came to be and what your role was and all that.
Sure. So we call it, I think the kids would know it best as like work-based learning internship program. And I would say the community would look at it as the return on investment program. It's one and the same. It actually came out of some brainstorming with Hezekiah Allen with the city. And I always enjoy conversations with him because they're always dreaming about and brainstorming new things that we can do. But he was looking for how do we get more of our youth connected with the jobs that are actually here in our community. And then I was working with the Gear Up grant at the time looking for the same thing. How do I give students exposure to things that are going to lead to an actual career? And because what I was finding, I worked with students starting in 7th grade until they graduated from high school. And what I found when I would ask students what they saw for their future, what they were interested in, oftentimes it was what they knew. And so it was maybe jobs that a family member had, or sometimes it was way out there, like they wanted to be most of my boys as 7th graders were going to be professional baseball, basketball, football players. So it was these things that they knew, and they had no idea what other careers were out there. I heard a speaker recently who was talking about her experience coming from a background where they were in poverty, where she said when people would ask, well, don't you want to be a doctor or don't you want to be an engineer? She didn't know what they were even talking about. She'd never, they didn't own a TV. She'd never been to a doctor's office. So these were just these foreign ideas. So out of that conversation with Hezekiah and then my experience, we birthed this idea of an internship program. And I think Mingus had similar things in the past, but it didn't have maybe as much structure as this program has now. So we started at 3, I guess it would have been 4 years ago that we started the planning process. And then our first group of interns were the group that was within my graduating class of 2018.
Okay. So was that first intern that I had, Sophia, was that first year program?
That was the first year of the program.
Excellent.
And so the city was our first target because of having multiple departments, lots of different interest areas. We did work too with Chamber of Commerce a little to see, and we've learned every year what the needs are of business owners. I mean, things that we didn't even think about, like, certain things with confidentiality and background checks and just all those pieces. And then also helping employers understand that high school students, because a lot of times they think, well, I don't want a high schooler, they're not going to be mature enough to handle this. And
not true.
Not true at all. And what we've said is they are 1 year away from being the workforce. So, and having worked in a high school, I mean, this is what we have. I mean, these awesome, incredible students that just need opportunity. They need to have experiences, learn from other professionals, not just educators saying, yes, you can do this, but go see what it is. So even when we first had some groups sign on, we said to the different departments and different businesses, don't have them file papers and mop floors and bathrooms. Like, let them go to meetings with you. Let them experience what does it look like to maybe not be the mayor, although that's great, but work alongside. There's so many more jobs, in a city like ours, maybe fewer, but go down to the Phoenix mayor's office and see how many people interact with that one position within the city.
So that first year, then, how many students did you have sign up?
Oh,
and
gosh.
How did you find those students?
Right. We did a lot of different things in that recruitment. We hosted like a recruitment luncheon or fair and brought in the different internship sites and allowed them to visit with the students. They did kind of a presentation with the full group and then some mini visits, so students got to go around and talk. And since then, we've done similar things to that as well. We had an interview process. And that first year, we had more people interested in offering internships than we had interns, mostly because I think a lot of times by the time you get to that junior year, if you haven't had it as part of your plan, you've probably put something else in as your plan for your courses. So we're finding that we've got to be talking about internships the moment they come in as ninth graders.
Right.
Like, this is a viable option for your senior year. This is going to give you real hands-on experience. Since that time, you have experienced now that you're required to have 5 classes. My graduating seniors were only required to have 4.
Okay.
And so with the addition of a 5th class, it was really meant to say, you can do a lot of different things with that 5th hour. You could have an internship. You could have a job that you do work-based learning and get credit. You could take a Yavapai class. You could do. What we don't want you doing is nothing.
Right.
We don't want you having 4 classes and then the rest of your day is free, because that's not preparing you for what's next. And that is a life that's probably going to have a lot of work time and not a lot of free time in it.
For me, it was like I only had 2 classes required to graduate. So when I had the 5, I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do for this 5th one. And then you had the assembly where everyone came in and talked about the internships. I was like, oh, that could be a cool thing to do in the mornings to get, so I can have an extra class, because everyone else was taking a math or a science. But since I've already taken them, I was like, oh, like, let me find a different option rather than taking PE again or something.
Yeah, and I hope it worked out well, right? Good, good. All right, well, we have to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about some of the different departments and some of the other areas just in the private sector that you've been able to place some of these interns. So we'll be back in just 1 minute. Please join us.
Attention Cottonwood residents. If you've been a Cottonwood resident for a year or more and are at least 18 years old, you could run for the Cottonwood City Council. The Cottonwood City Council makes policy decisions and is empowered to enact ordinances and policies to protect citizens' rights in the city of Cottonwood. In the 2020 election cycle, the citizens of Cottonwood will elect a mayor and 4 council members. If you want to be a part of the Cottonwood City Council, now is the time to contact the Cottonwood City Clerk's office for more information. Qualified electors can run for mayor or council seats, and all forms and petitions are due by April 6, 2020. Contact the Cottonwood City Clerk today at 928-340-2727. The City of Cottonwood, inspiring a vibrant community.
All right. Okay, welcome back. This is Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host, Mayor Tim Elinski. Again, in the studio with us this evening, we have Gretchen Wesbrock and Shenoah, my intern for the year. And we were discussing before break the return on investment program, what I know is a return on investment program,
work-based learning or internship program. That's probably what the kids call it. I have an internship. Yeah.
And Gretchen really is the one that started this program with Hezekiah Allen from the city of Cottonwood. And I think it's been very successful, in my opinion. I think it's very forward-thinking, and I'm really pleased to have had 2 interns through the program. Again, later in the segment, we're going to talk about what Shenoah's been doing, which is really near and dear to my heart. But we'll get to that in just a second. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about what specific departments you've been able to place folks in within the city, and then any other kind of private sector successes that you've had, and then maybe some ways that if there are employers out there who would like to take advantage of this program, how they can make contact and get the ball rolling.
Absolutely. I'm going to look at my notes too, so I make sure. So Chad Elmer is one of our incredible faculty at Mingus. He now is running this program, and he's really taken it and elevated it to a whole new level. There's curriculum that students have to do that is online, where they actually get a work-based certificate, like a work-based preparation certificate, and you might be able to talk about some of the lessons. I think it depends on even what you're interested in, what types of things that you're going to learn about, but it's really added, I think, some real sustenance that has been powerful. He also does site visits, so he's able to be out there visiting our students who are either in an actual business doing work, so getting paid, or an internship. He's able to communicate with the students in that way, and then also with the employers or internship supervisors. This year we have 5 interns, and they are placed, I want to make sure I get this right, Cottonwood PD, Finance Department, Parks and Rec, Yavapai Broadcasting has one of our interns, and then the mayor.
Great.
There's a couple others that we had available but didn't have anybody fill. The library has wanted an intern. Hard sell though, you know, kids don't always understand the transferable skills they can get from working in the library.
Right.
They think, well, I don't want to be a librarian. So really helping kids understand what they can learn.
Well, there's a lot going on in that library.
Oh
too.
my goodness,
It is
yes.
not just books.
No. Courthouse and then the IT department were the others for the city that we didn't fill. We have 63 students that are in our work-based learning program, so they're working out in the community.
You said 63?
63.
Wow.
So they're
How
not
large
in,
is the graduating class, roughly?
280.
Yeah, like 280, 290.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's fantastic too because the students are again, they're doing this certification process along with working and learning the skills that they're learning there.
Okay.
We've worked with the chamber in the past. We haven't had a lot, I mean, the city's been the biggest supporter of this program. And I would say as we grow, I mean, we certainly will have more interns who have served to be able to say, look at what I learned. This is who we are as students. And so I'm hoping we grow the private sector because I know we've had a lot of initial interest and we haven't been able to get a lot of people to follow through because there is some oversight that's required.
Sure.
You know, you want to bring someone in and not just say, all right, there's your desk and good luck, but to be able to provide them experiences.
Seems like it's been pretty robust at 63 placed in the private sector, right? I mean, that's
right, and those are students in jobs, not necessarily internships. So you know, we look at the internships as really the mostly unpaid. Which
we love.
Yeah, absolutely. Whereas work-based learning, you know, the student is getting that job. They're not coming to us saying, "Hey, we're looking for these students," if that makes sense.
And so, what are the industries that? I mean, are any that float to the top as far as?
I would say for our students, a lot in hospitality, hotel, restaurant sort of things. A lot of our students are working. I'm often surprised at how many of our students work in Sedona and drive back and forth. Working there.
2 of my friends are in the work experience program and they drive up to Sedona.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And it's all hospitality related?
Most of them are restaurants. So like my friend works at Starbucks and another one works at a Thai restaurant.
Okay.
So like they drive up and then they'll be like, "Oh, did you do your timesheet for this week?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And we both go turn it in together. Like, yeah.
Well, let's hear about it from your perspective. And so who do you interact with? Chad's the gentleman's name, correct?
Mr. Elmer for
Mr.
you,
Elmer,
right?
Sorry. I should have known better. Describe it from your perspective. I mean, as far as the you have to fill out your timesheet and everything else, but what other kind of assignments do you have?
So every day, at least with the internship, we go in for an hour, so about 5 hours a week. And then every Wednesday we turn in a timesheet, and then with the online course, it goes basically along as you go through your internship. So at the beginning, you'll be talking about a resume and about college and like different degrees and so on. And then if you don't want to go to college, it has things about, having more work experience and how an internship or work experience can also help you in the future, and how like maybe not college is for everyone, maybe how college is not for everyone, and like different experiences. And this week we just learned about job interviews. So like how to go in, like what to bring, what to wear, and everything like that. And so each week, like every other week, there'll be those going along with it. And by the end, you get a certificate.
Great. That's so important.
It's really tremendous. You also had a boot camp at the beginning of the year, so they did a 5-day boot camp.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, this is what you wear. This is what you bring."
Is that
So
right?
so there were different people in the community. In fact, I have Hezekiah Allen. He did something on municipal government and career development. Amanda Wilbur from the city did proper dress, phone and email etiquette, customer service. Jack Teal and more customer service. We can never get enough of that. Steve Hensel did some Microsoft Office. Basic skills. So they all do this boot camp at the beginning to kind of give a foundation so we can say, hey, we at least introduced them to these basic skills and now we're turning them over to you to enhance and
Well, it's
and
critical.
build.
I mean, the soft skills training is so important. I think, you know, I know you as an educator struggle with knowing what to prepare children, not children, but young adults these days, because we don't know what jobs are going to be. We don't even know what jobs look like in the future, 5-10 years out. So we don't really quite know what to prepare. our students for. So soft skills are transferable no matter where you work.
Right.
So that's excellent.
It's huge.
Yeah. And have you gotten a lot of value out of it? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
We'll be talking to my mom and she'd be like, oh, what did you do at work today? Because like it's gotten to the point where my mom used to be like, oh, you're not allowed to like work for a job because she wants me to focus on studies. But now that it's been integrated into my studies, that she'll be like, oh, what did you do in class or at your internship today? And I've got to go and talk to her about it. And it's not the conflict of, oh, I'm not going to have enough time to work on something.
Got it. Good. And so you're college bound, and how long have you known that? I mean, when did you realize that college was the path for you?
Well, my mom didn't go to college, so since very young, she went there, but she didn't graduate because she was working and so on. So ever since then, she's all like, well, in the future, you're going to need a degree. And so if I want to go into engineering, I kind of need a degree to do that. So since basically freshman year, when I realized like, oh, I want to go into design and like fixing problems in engineering, I was like, okay, I need to start planning for college.
Got it. Yeah. Well, that's good. So it's been a part of your conversation growing up. Yeah, good. Environmental engineer, what does your ideal job look like? Where would you like to land if you had your choice?
I would like to ideally focus on renewable energy and making it more accessible to everyone. And so then that would also go along with like finding cheaper options for everyone. So it's not like, because right now if you think of like, oh, there's windmills or like solar panels, but those can be seen as like expensive. So like my idea will be finding a way so it's accessible to everyone. So it's not even like a big topic. It's just something that's running in the background that you might not even notice.
Excellent. And you want to stay here in the States working on this, because this, of course, is a global issue?
So I'm applying to college out of state, but depending on where I go, I might come back and try and implement it here.
Good. Well, we'd like you to save the world from Arizona. we would appreciate that, just to put us on the map, you know, but good. All right, we have to take another real quick break, and then when we get back, I want to talk about the very specific program you've been working on through our office, and that I'm really excited about, the Explorer Backpack program. So we'll take a quick 1-minute break, and please come back and join us.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness. When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.org.
Okay, welcome back to the tail end here of Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Mayor Tim Elinski. We've got Gretchen Wesbrock here with us today, and my intern for the year. We have Shenoah. And prior, we were talking about your experience in working through this intern program, and some of the value that you receive from it. I want to talk a little bit about the value that I've received from it, because when we first sat down to interview, I knew that you were interested in environmental issues, and so I was trying to think of some of the pet projects that I have rolling around in my head that are important to me that might overlap and provide you with some interest. And I think we landed on the Explorer Backpack program. So why don't you tell me how you made this great program come to life?
So you pitched the idea where in other states they have programs where you can go to the library and check out a backpack, and the backpack will be full of supplies and everything, and it's free. And it was ideally for kids who don't have enough money to get into state parks, and so they can check out this backpack, take their family, and go to a state park for free. So since then I've been researching about it, and we've been partnering with the library and the state parks and so on. So I actually have a sample backpack of an Explorer backpack, and it'll be filled with items like binoculars, magnifying glass, and a bunch of pamphlets. So basically anything that you can find at the Dead Horse like visitor center for pamphlets, they will be inside this backpack. And then it comes with a very custom park pass that I helped design with Sandra Salas, my mentor, and it's in partnership with Dead Horse. Right now it is only with Dead Horse, but hopefully if this goes well it can expand.
Right.
And so we're also partnering with Ragtime to help design the backpack so it's more official. There will be security tags on it, so like that won't be an issue. So it'll basically be as easy as checking out a book.
Right. And available at the Cottonwood Public Library, correct? Yeah. So tell me, because it wasn't very nice of me to say that I would like for this to happen, but good luck, right? Because it's kind of an insurmountable feat. I mean, you had to talk to a lot of different agencies and get, there was no money, obviously, to make this happen. I don't have any money for you, but make it happen. So tell me how you made it all happen. Who did you talk to? What businesses did you engage with?
So the first meeting I had was with Ryan Bigelow of the library, and so he came in and I was like, okay, so like this is the idea, and he's like, well, do you have a cost estimate yet? And then I'm like, no, but do you think that these items are good? He's like, yes. So then after that meeting, we've gone on and I've been looking up item costs and like going on Walmart and Amazon trying to find the cheapest options and everything. And I've been talking with Thomas Allen, who works with the state parks, about is it possible to get a pass for like a custom pass? So then it's easier for the people who work at Dead Horse to let people in. And then through then we've been designing and everything. And I've been talking back and forth with Ryan about cost. And like right now, I believe it's only $1,000 for this whole entire thing. And so Ryan has applied for a grant at Walmart that we actually got accepted for, and we're just waiting to get the money in. And I've been working with different companies trying to get samples in to see if it'll fit. And one of the ideas was to have fishing sets so kids can go fishing. And so one of the problems that we realized was that you kind of need a fishing license to go fishing. So I talked with the state park, and they were like, okay, so if you're underneath the age of 10, technically you don't need a fishing license. But if you're over the age of 10, you can buy a fishing license for $30. So we were going to have 5 kids fishing sets and then 5 adult fishing sets. So then if you want to buy your own license and fish with your kids, then you can go and pick one up, and then you don't have to worry about carrying it home and making sure everything's okay. Or if you just want to teach your kids how to fish, you can still check out a little baggie with it and then take it with your backpack and just go to the park and fish for free.
Yeah, and it's all available through the library, and then you go to Dead Horse Ranch and they'll recognize the pass. They'll let you in.
Park pass and everything.
Okay, great. And it's available to anybody in the Verde Valley that wants to sign up at the Cottonwood Library.
You just need a library card.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
That's incredible.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it wasn't very kind of me, but boy, you sure excelled and really pulled it all together. And I think it's important that people understand that, and we have a really good relationship with Dead Horse Ranch, City of Cottonwood, and we're really fortunate to have that park here in our border. But this is a one-of-a-kind program here in Arizona. This is a pilot program. They don't allow anything like this at any of their other state parks, throughout the system. So really, hats off to you. Kudos for making this happen, because it is so difficult to plow through bureaucracy and get a program like this started. And I sincerely appreciate it. And all the families that take advantage of this will thank you too. And so thank you very much for the work that you've done. Yeah, and I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Good. I hope it wasn't too overwhelming.
No.
I think it showcases too. I mean, congratulations, this is huge. I think it just showcases the very thing we're trying to show, and that is how a senior in high school is ready. They're ready to take on these projects, and they may need some guidance and that sort of thing. But what a cool thing to be able to say, I was a part of that, and I didn't even have my high school diploma yet. I just think you're just an absolute example of what this program's designed to do.
That's right. So. And it really aligns with a lot of our strategic plans for the Cottonwood Council. We really want to highlight our natural resources, make sure people are aware of them, that we can then, the more we get kiddos into the park, the more they're going to love the park, the more that they're going to fight to protect it, which I think is what your degree is going to be all about, is fighting to protect the environment. So it starts here. When they're young, you get them to enjoy nature. They want to do everything they can to protect it. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That really sums it up today. So we're all kind of wrapped up with our interview. Any last closing thoughts?
Oh gosh, I'd say congratulations to you. Thank you to the city for all because the city's been such a partner in this, and I'm hoping we can just continue to grow and expand. I know workforce development is a big topic in our area. I have friends who are, have positions posted and struggle to find the people. And I think as a community, we just need to they're here, they're young, and we need to commit to growing them. So we're excited about just continuing that with our high school.
Great. Any closing thoughts, Shenoah?
Thank you for taking me.
Oh, absolutely.
So, thank you for letting me sit in your office every day.
Oh, thanks for being willing. Are you kidding me? Yeah. No, it's been absolutely great. Absolutely great. Thank you. It's been a real pleasure. So, thanks to you both for being in. And this was Inside Cottonwood. We're going to see you again in a month. And have a good evening. Thank you.